That phone call you got this morning, the one with a few seconds of silence before a clear voice asked if you could hear them okay? You probably said yes without even thinking about it right before the line went dead. It felt like a simple wrong number, a forgettable little glitch in your day. But that moment, that automatic, polite response, may have been the first step in a crime. It wasn't a mistake or a bad connection. It was a targeted attack, and it worked exactly as the people on the other end designed it to. What you experienced is a sophisticated new kind of fraud I'm calling the yes trap. It's a system deliberately engineered to turn your own voice and your own politeness into a weapon against you. The criminals running it aren't after your credit card number or your social security information, at least not at first. They are hunting for one single word spoken in your own voice, and they have built a global machine to capture it. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how their machine works, and you will have a simple, powerful way to make sure it never works on you. The trap begins with a technology called caller ID spoofing. This is how the scammers make their call appear on your phone as though it's coming from a legitimate, even official source. You might see Social Security admin or the name of your local bank or a government agency. This is done to lower your guard just enough to get you to engage. The question they ask is always harmless and designed to get a one-word answer. Is this Margaret? Or can you hear me? Your natural human instinct is to respond affirmatively, and that's exactly what they're counting on. See, the person, or more often the machine that called you, doesn't actually want to have a conversation. The call itself is just a harvesting mission. That strange silence you sometimes hear at the beginning of the line, that isn't a bad connection. It's the machine verifying it has a live human, and the click that follows is the sound of a thief stealing your voice. The moment you say yes, their mission is complete. The immediate hang-up or the pivot into a generic robocall isn't a failure on their part. It's the successful end of their operation. You've just given them exactly what they called for. Here's where it gets truly concerning. That recording of you saying yes is what's known as a biometric identifier, or a voice signature. It's a unique marker of your identity, just like a fingerprint. Many banks, credit card companies, and utility providers now use automated voice recognition systems to allow customers to approve payments or authorize changes to their accounts over the phone. With a clean recording of your yes, scammers can now access these systems, impersonating you and authorizing fraudulent charges using the sound of your own voice. You didn't give them a password, but you gave them something just as powerful. And honestly, this isn't just one guy in a basement making phone calls. These are automated robotiling systems that can place thousands of calls every single minute, all of them hunting for that one specific word. The system is designed to prey on the habits of a lifetime, especially the ingrained courtesy of your generation. It's a weapon that specifically targets people who are helpful, polite, and trusting. Let me tell you about Carol. She's a 72-year-old retired teacher from Florida, a sharp woman who reads everything and stays on top of her finances. One afternoon, her phone rang, and the screen showed it was a call from the Social Security Administration. A pleasant, professional-sounding voice asked, "Is this Carol?" She did what any of us would do. She answered the question directly and honestly. She said, "Yes." Then the line immediately went dead. She thought it was strange, but she had lesson plans to review for her volunteer work and quickly put it out of her mind. A couple of weeks went by and Carol didn't think about that call again. It was a non-event, a fleeting moment in a busy life. But then her credit card statement arrived in the mail. As she was going through the charges, she saw one she didn't recognize. It was for $409.99 from a company selling a senior medical alert system she had never heard of, let alone purchased. She was confused and a little angry. She immediately picked up the phone to call the company and dispute the charge, confident that this was just a simple, obvious error that could be cleared up quickly. When Carol finally got a representative on the phone and explained the situation, what happened next left her speechless. The company told her they had proof she had authorized the purchase. And then they played the proof. Over the phone line, she heard a recording of her own voice, clear as day, saying that one single word, yes. It was the yes from that strange call 2 weeks earlier. The scammers had sold her voice signature to this other company, who then used it as fraudulent proof of a verbal contract. She wasn't just fighting a mistaken charge, she was fighting her own voice. And Carol's story is not an isolated one. According to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, Americans over the age of 60 lost over $3.4 billion to fraud in 2023 alone. Government imposter scams just like the one that targeted Carol, are one of the most common and devastatingly effective tools these criminals use. This isn't a small occasional problem. It's an industrial-scale enterprise that is systematically targeting our parents and grandparents, and it's growing every single year. The scale of the theft is breathtaking, and it's all powered by these simple, automated tricks. Now here's where it gets even more complicated. The threat is evolving. Scammers are no longer just using that stolen yes to authorize a single purchase. They are now creating hybrid threats, combining your stolen voice signature with other pieces of your personal information that they buy from data brokers online. They can use your yes to try to reset passwords for your financial accounts, authorize changes to your medical information, or even attempt to access your retirement funds. That one word becomes a master key that can be used to unlock more and more of your private life. So, after hearing all this, how do you protect yourself? How do you defend against an invisible threat that uses your own voice against you? It's easy to feel a little helpless, but I promise you you're not. There is a simple, powerful protocol that completely shuts this scam down. It doesn't require any special technology, and it doesn't cost a penny. It just requires you to change one small habit, and it starts with a rule I call the pivot response. The pivot response is your primary shield. Here's why it works so well. The entire scam is built on the automated system's ability to capture a clean recording of one specific word, yes. The scammer's software is listening for the unique sound wave of that word. The pivot response works by denying them that specific audio data. Instead of saying yes, you respond to their introductory question with a phrase that confirms you're on the line without giving them the key they are hunting for. You pivot the conversation. Think about the contrast. The scam needs you to say yes. That's the entire foundation of their attack. When you instead say something like, "I can hear you just fine," or a calm, "Who is calling, please?" you give their system nothing of value. The automated program doesn't know what to do with that response. It can't be edited or used to impersonate you. You've starved the machine of the one thing it needs to function. You've broken the chain at the very first link, and you've done it without being rude or confrontational. You've simply taken control of the exchange. So let's build the full protocol. There are 4 simple steps. Number 1, and this is the most important, make a conscious decision to never ever say the word yes to an unexpected caller asking a leading question. Burn this rule into your memory. Number 2, use the pivot response instead. Practice a few simple go-to phrases so they feel natural. My favorites are, "I can hear you," and "Who am I speaking with?" They are polite, direct, and completely safe. They keep you in control. Here's step 3, and it's critical. If the caller claims to be from your bank, the IRS, the Social Security Administration, or any other official institution, hang up immediately. Do not engage further. Do not give them any more information. Then, find the official phone number for that institution on your statements, on the back of your card, or on their official website, and call them directly. This completely defeats the caller ID spoofing and confirms if there's a real issue. And finally, step 4, use the free tools you already have. Go into your smartphone's settings right now and activate the feature to silence unknown callers. It sends any call from a number not in your contacts straight to voicemail, which screens out most robocalls automatically. Now, I know that for many of you, some of these steps might feel a little rude. You were raised to be polite, to answer a direct question, to be helpful, and that's a wonderful thing. But you need to understand your politeness is the exact vulnerability these systems are designed to exploit. This is not a social situation with a real person who has real feelings. It is a technical attack from a criminal enterprise. Protecting yourself isn't impolite. It's intelligent. It's the only sensible response to a clear and present danger. You are not being rude. You are being secure. But what if you're watching this and you have a sinking feeling? What if you know you've already said yes to a strange call just like this in the last few weeks or months? First, let's get one thing straight. You did nothing wrong. You were targeted by sophisticated professional criminals whose full-time job is to trick good, decent, trusting people. The fact that they targeted you doesn't say anything about your intelligence. It confirms you're exactly the kind of cooperative and polite person their systems are designed to find. Now, let's turn that worry into action. Here are your next steps. First, for the next 3 months, you need to monitor all of your bank and credit card statements like a hawk. Don't just scan them. Read every single line item. Look for any charges, no matter how small, that you don't recognize. Scammers often start with a tiny charge to see if it goes through. Second, you can place a free 90-day fraud alert on your credit reports. You only need to contact one of the 3 major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion. They are required by law to notify the other 2. This alerts lenders that they should take extra steps to verify your identity before opening any new credit in your name. Finally, and this is an important step, report the call. You can file a free report with the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov. This is crucial because your report gives law enforcement the data they need to see the patterns, track the criminal operations, and work to shut them down. It may feel like you're just one person, but your report, combined with thousands of others, helps build the case against these networks. By taking these simple steps, you've done something powerful. You've moved from being a potential victim to an active part of the defense, protecting both yourself and your community. You have this knowledge now. You can see the trap. But think for a moment about the people in your life who can't. Who do you love that answers every phone call without a second of hesitation? Picture your mom, your grandfather, a neighbor who lives alone, or a close friend from church. Can you see them in your mind's eye getting that call while they're making dinner and politely, automatically saying yes to a stranger's voice? They don't know the rules of this new game. They're walking around without a shield, completely exposed. Please take just a moment right now and share this video with one of those people. Sending them, this isn't about helping a YouTube channel grow. It's a direct act of protection. It's a 5-minute conversation that could save someone you love from months of financial headaches and emotional distress. This is how we look out for each other, by sharing the knowledge that keeps us all safe. In a world full of noise, a little bit of wisdom can be the best defense.